PACTV is pleased to host this Q&A with candidates running for the Plymouth and Barnstable County Senate seat. And we're pleased to have on set today Jesse Brown, who is a Republican candidate for Senate from Plymouth. Welcome.
Thank you.
Before we get to the main questions, a couple little questions about you. What is your current occupation?
I am a business owner in the wireless communications field.
Okay. And do you now or have you ever served on any boards or committees, either elected or appointed?
Right now, I am on the Labor Workforce Committee with the state. I also serve on the Economic Committee with the state, and I sit on the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce as the chair of the Veterans Committee.
Okay. And where can your constituents go to find out more about you and your campaign?
On votejessebrown.com, or they can go on the Facebook page at Jesse Brown State Senate.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go into the questions. Question number one. Given that you will be coming into office midterm, how do you plan to tackle the process of getting up to speed on the myriad of topics and work product already being done in the 6 towns that you will represent?
Well, being in business, what we have to do with that in the nonprofit sector that I'm in, you have to build relationships and collaborate with a lot of people. So going up to the State House, that's one thing that we have to focus on right there. You have to build the relationships to work with everybody and not be stonewalled on a constant basis. So I plan to go up there, introduce myself, work with everybody, and build a great working relationship.
And what about knowledge about the individual towns? How are you going to come up to speed on what's important?
Yeah, I could hold business roundtable meetings with the local businesses, work with the selectmen of the towns, work with every local official. I'm a big proponent for smaller government, so I'll be working with the towns on a constant basis to always know the constant issues that are going on.
Okay, question number 2. What do you think are the priorities within the district regarding climate change, and how do they dovetail with the state's priorities and initiatives regarding that same topic?
The number one biggest thing with the climate is to be prepared for any issues that happen. We know some of the towns, they're MVP towns, and with that number one thing is to be prepared, to have those studies done to find out what the issues are. Obviously, the coastal issues are probably the number one issue all along. I mean, pretty much the whole district, except for one town, is along the coastline. Right. So we have to be prepared for that, secure funding for that, and then advocate at the same time to get those projects done.
Do you know what they're doing at the state level regarding climate change for our area, our district?
As of right now, I do not.
Okay.
I do not know. That's why I go up there to learn as the first question.
Okay.
And it's just quick learner, fast learner. But, you got to know the issues and to advocate for them. That's the big thing.
Okay. Makes sense. Question number 3. Currently, there are many challenges regarding housing. Seniors wanting to downsize and limited affordable options for them. Workforce housing for those who work in our area but can't afford to live here. And affordable housing in general for either renters or buyers. Given that these are challenges that are out there, what is your plan to tackle them?
The biggest thing I see in that is to change the zoning. You have to change the zoning for it to create, it's a simple thing. It's a supply-demand issue. When there's more supply, there's the demand has to be there. If there's more demand, there's going to be less supply. So we have to create more supply for the demand. When that happens, it's a very common sense thing. If there's more out there, the prices, the rents will be less. So number one would be the zoning aspect, to change it so builders, they can build more, but also you want to do it smart. You don't want to just build completely buildings everywhere. But the other thing, being knocking on doors, that I've been probably knocked on over 2,000 doors already, and I've talked to a lot of seniors, and that's their number one fear, is that the prices just keep going up and up, and they're afraid to lose their homes.
Right.
So with that, I think more, you got to lower the taxes first so they can stay in their homes, and I think that's a bigger issue than to keep them in their homes, not move them out of their homes.
What about affordable housing, though, for seniors that want to downsize?
Yeah, well, obviously that's changing the regulations and the rules. When you downsize, you're building smaller homes.
Yeah, right.
You're not building larger homes that you have to have X amount of footage, frontage, or you can't build extra accessory buildings on your own property. Families can get together and they can build for their in-laws, but they don't have to do necessarily an in-law, which is hard to do. I mean,
Right.
I've done it, so there's always complications with that.
Yeah.
So the bureaucracy, you don't want to be stonewalled. We have
Right.
to loosen those regulations and rules. I mean, I always call them barriers.
Right.
The rules and regulations are barriers, so
Okay.
we have to loosen those.
Okay. Fourth question. What do you see in the realm of health and human services as the most vital current concerns that you will be addressing?
You deal a lot with the mental health aspect. You deal with mental health sometimes on a personal level, sometimes so you see where people need the help. And obviously we get into some situation now with the mental health, we get into different crises with the pills. So, with prescription drugs. So with that, the mental health has to be dealt with treatment, potentially maybe a little bit more facilities for that. It can't be a stigma that mental health is bad. So we have to focus a lot on that. Obviously, it goes, another big thing that I'm a pro-Second Amendment person. So the mental health aspect is big, obviously, in that. So we want to tackle the mental health aspect, and it will be one of my top priorities.
Do you think that mental health is tied specifically with the opioid problem?
In my opinion, there's definitely a connection.
connection.
Yes, there's definitely a connection with that.
Okay. All right.
Can I just a little
please
bit on
do.
that?
Oh, yeah, please.
Obviously, you have the PTSD. Being a veteran, and you have the PTSD.
yeah, go ahead. Talk
And
about that.
with the mental health aspect, you come back, you're on the medications on a constant basis. I just know personally, veterans that I've seen, that I've talked to, the amounts of medications that they're on. I mean, it's ludicrous, the amounts of medication they're on. So I think if, medications can control things,
Right.
but at the same time, you don't want to rely on them for your whole life. We have to treat what's wrong.
And there seems to be a lot in the news lately about the veterans and their mental health. Do you think that our state does enough to support them?
Well, I think we have, in general, I think we have the best veteran services in the country. It's just actually going out and getting it, the veterans going out and getting it, having the nonprofit that when I had the nonprofit, we see that the veterans, it's so much paperwork that they don't want to do, but working with the VSOs in town, they do a tremendous job of all the towns, the VSOs, they help them navigate that process. So if I would put Massachusetts up with the veteran services against any state.
Wow, that's really nice to hear. Okay, so for the remaining minutes, and you have about 8 minutes if you'd like to take it, you can talk about anything you'd like to, anything that we've covered that you want to do more about, something we haven't discussed, personal, anything you want.
Well, so one thing, I got a question the other day that for my daughter, we're driving around town, we're campaigning, she's my little compadre when we're out there. But one thing she said to me, she's like, Daddy, she's like, I see your signs everywhere. She's like, do you think that that's weird? And with you looking at it, when you see your own name out there on a constant basis. So I thought about that. I just told her no. I said, I don't think that it's weird. But because what I say when I look at it, what I see is the people that I talk to all the time. So like I said, we knocked on already about 2,000 doors, and we met tremendous people out there. And to hear their stories and their concerns, when you're driving by and you see the signs and we see more of the signs, it's motivating me to do more. And I will be a great advocate and have an effective voice. That's like my big thing right now is in anything that I've done in life. I've been in service since I was 17, and I've been helping people every single day. I love to see people succeed. I love helping people, and I plan to keep doing that up at the State House, at the local level, and through the rest of my life. Whether I win or I lose, I will continue to do that. Yes.
Is there anything surprising that you have found as you knock on doors?
They're great people. I mean, the people out there, the people that you meet, the stories that they tell, I mean, from veterans to business owners to the seniors. I mean, the seniors are the greatest ones to talk to because they have so much experience.
Sure.
I mean, I'm talking to a gentleman yesterday who was on Air Force One, talking to somebody who was with General Petraeus, and just the stories that you hear on a constant basis. But like I was saying before, their biggest concern are taxes.
Yeah.
I've seen that. It's 20 to 30% of the doors that get answered, the taxes are their biggest fear. It's a fear
Right.
of theirs. Not they don't want it to go up.
Right.
They need it just to stay stagnant.
Yeah.
Not even go up. They're just concerned about them going up. I mean, I want to have them go down, but also we need taxes no matter. But we
Right.
have to keep it at a level that's fair for everybody.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have been with Jesse Brown, who is a candidate for the Plymouth and Barnstable County Senate seat, a Republican from Plymouth.